teams rather in two different groups. You do have a team that will go through as group winners in Group A, as well as a team that will go through in Group C, meaning that we will find out about the contenders in one semi-final, and of course they'll have to battle it out. The big prize it will be to make sure that they get to the final and book themselves a place in the Total Under-20 African Cup of Nations happening out in Mauritania. Now let's look at the journeys that these teams have traveled to get to this particular juncture. When you look at Group A, Mozambique, they needed to open their account with a victory to almost make things easier for them against Lesotho. South Africa 2-2 draw up against neighbors Zimbabwe, but it was that big victory for South Africa that propelled them forward, and Mozambique getting a second victory against Zimbabwe. Group C made up of three teams. Angola going down to Eswatini, but they did fight back, and they fought back in style against Botswana. 4-0 the final score. As we look at what the ramifications are for today, the young Mambas need to avoid losing to host Amajita to finish in top of a Group A, but a win for South Africa would see them go top and leave Mozambique hoping for the best runners-up place. At the same time, Zimbabwe take on Lesotho with both teams mathematically out of the competition, but even for a win for Zimbabwe, that could leave them with a single point in the runners-up calculation. The same will go for Lesotho with a result against the bottom team that will be discarded. Group B, they'll find out their fate tomorrow, consisting of Zambia, Malawi, Namibia, and the Comoros. The two teams that will be hoping to get that runners-up position will be Malawi as well as Namibia. Well, for Zambia, they do have that 1 foot on the next stage, which is the knockout stages. And for Angola and Eswatini, right now, as things stand, a draw will be enough for Eswatini to go through. But their clash against Botswana will confirm that they finish top of the group or not. But a win for Botswana will see all teams level on 3 points, and the pool will be decided by goal difference. Fascinating times in the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship, as the teams will be now gearing and looking forward to the knockout stages. But not all the teams will be able to make it though, and making all these fixtures all the more fascinating and interesting. Let's hear from the coaches about the plans for today. Coach, the team's future boils down to today.
Yeah, it's a tough match against good opponents. I think our destiny is in our hands.
Does it alleviate some pressure knowing that your team just needs a point from this encounter to go through?
Not much. We cannot be playing for a point. We aiming for the 3 points. Then if circumstances don't allow, then we can get a point.
Give us some insight in terms of the team's formation for today.
We're playing the basic formation 4-5-1 basically, but then we have to attack. It's a norm.
Thank you, all the best.
You're welcome.
Coach, knowing the current predicament of the team, what is expected from them today?
We expected to bounce back. The first game we didn't have a good game, but it happens in football. These are young players. You can't go hard on them. It's just to encourage them. So I'm hoping for a good performance today.
The emphasis you'll place on balance, knowing very well that this group might boil down to goal difference.
Yes, we are aware that it is most important that we also get our 3 points, and then anything can happen from there. The most important thing is for us to win.
You talk about winning. How does the team plan on doing that? Let's just focus on offensive play, Coach. Where are you planning on annihilating Eswatini today?
The way I saw Eswatini play against Angola, they were too much having about 5 at the back, and then there's too much gap in the midfield, but we will try to work on it. But they're also trying to play for a point. They don't want to lose the game, because if they get a point they qualify, so they will play cautious. I don't think they will go at an open game, because that will be too dangerous for them. But for us, we've got nothing to lose. We have to go all out for the 3 points.
Thank you, all the best.
Thank you.
3 fixtures today to determine who will go through in Group A and Group C respectively. Starting over here with the early kickoff is Eswatini up against Botswana. Later on, Amajita will be up against the Young Mambas, and at the same time over at the Galvandale Stadium it will be Zimbabwe that will meet up with Lesotho. Eswatini have struggled to get out of the group stages in the 14 previous tournaments of the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship. Well, for Botswana, this is a team also that has had a torrid time in terms of trying to qualify for the knockout stages. So it means that we will see maybe a tactical battle between the two sides who will try to cancel each other out as best as they can. In commentary, and our storyteller for today is Mutlogeleng Kinenda.
It's all about storytelling, yes indeed. Eswatini having 3 points, and Botswana, who holds the faith of Eswatini and for themselves as well. Now, in this particular encounter, we must say the wind speed has decreased immensely from 33 that happened yesterday to 26. And of course, the temperature sitting on 22 degrees Celsius. Two countries, rather a kingdom that is of Eswatini and a country that is Botswana, similar to a kingdom. They both know what is at stake when they travel to this beautiful city and this beautiful municipality of the Nelson Mandela Bay, hosting the Under-20 Youth Championship. Well, it is a match day 5, and players must have adjusted and adapted to the conditions of this beautiful city and the wind that was just giving them a bit of a tough time. However, two sides that will just play 2 games for them to qualify. It is this young man here of Eswatini, and the other side, that is Botswana. Well, 2 countries that are pretty much not far from each other, about 500 kilometers separating them, and having them to travel to Nelson Mandela Bay by bus, which is of interest as well, is that maybe the players are rested enough now. Maybe they've had a good time to just acclimatize to the conditions that they are faced with. However, all goes down to how these young men want to represent the pride and dignity of their country and kingdom, that is Eswatini, and as well as Botswana. So we are yet to witness who will then cause an upset between the two. If you look at this group having 3 teams on it, is a very interesting thing, because Eswatini are sitting on 3 points, having played 1 game, beating Angola, who also are sitting at 3 points, having played 2 games. That means Angola have already played their games, and Angola profited from Botswana. So Botswana will then look into causing an upset for Eswatini, and then it will all be even Stevens, 3 points all. And now the head-to-head will come to factor. We'll then decide which team advances to the next round, which is the knockout stages, and Eswatini would want a point and make it 4 so that they can advance. So if situations do not allow Eswatini to score as many goals as they can, score goals to get themselves winning this game, a draw will settle them well, because they'll advance, and Angola will be the best losers, that is the second team. Then they would also advance to the next round. So a group that is pretty much open, but if Botswana wins this game, there will be a twist, because it will also depend on the number of goals scored. Again, well, they said head-to-head, so the goal will come after. Should the head-to-head system not favor anyone or be par, that is even, then it will definitely all go down to a goal-scoring system. Swaziland come in here with a bit of motivation, walking into the pitch, knowing that they've gotten the monkey off their back by sealing that first win. Opening match against Angola, I mean, they scored a goal in the last dying minutes of their match, and which was a bit disappointing for the likes of Angola. However, all goes down to what happens today.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Eswatini.
Well, national anthems are out the way. It is time now for the players to assemble and get ready with their formation, that is. Now, referees of the match is Hamalila Matthews and Caesar Dlangamandla, second assistant Venicencio Ukosa, and the fourth official will be the sheriff herself, Akona Makalima. It's a matter of each team now picking a side. However, any direction that you go to, at the end of the day, it is 2:45 minutes, of course, with a water break in between. So we don't really have to pick a side in this instance because the wind is just a cool this time around, and a bit of heat or the sun coming from through the sun rather. They also just wanting to play a fair and a warm game. Oh, well, let's look at the formations of Eswatini having just made one substitution and just pushing the curtain right up and making sure that they want to find themselves scoring a goal with Nelisiwa Dlamini in the center will be of interest how he advances. Now, the likes of Botswana also having made just 2 changes, having to bring Lisang Sien and another man in the center that is also going to be added on in the center of the park to try and see if Botswana can advance too. Now, the players are up and ready and get up because pride and dignity of the kingdom and country are at stake, and a lot of responsibilities lie with these young stars in the field of play. And El Capitano just saying Ramaseri Tamalerona, that is Butsile Sakana. Now a ball played long already to test that man who's quite alert, that is COSAFA Under 20 Youth Championship Eswatini versus Botswana live at the Wolfson Stadium at Tisaida. That is this match, and we're yet to see what Botswana has in store. Because already they're starting on the front foot, just pumping the ball high, trying to find that man on the side. That is Tsepo Kasilibali, which means Kasilibali means you never forget him. That means it's going to be troublesome bringing the heat to Eswatini. Can this man be up for the task? Up front, that is Machahesbi Linkovu. Oh, you know, these 2 countries where you are just going to rather understand the meaning of their surnames when it comes to players. I can tell you that there's a pace coming from Godfrey Tautswala all the way going into the box, trying to beat Bongiswa Dlamini. And Dlamini says it's too early, let us rather give you a throw-in. However, let's give credit to Godfrey to just being on his bike and the front foot, trying to take on the defenders of Eswatini. No, tallest man is coming to take on the corner, which is a bit of a worrying factor for me because you need his height in the box. You need him to compete for these high balls. And there was a switch up. Kamela Kalahano puts it in, and the main man jumped up very high, that is. And properly cleared by Eswatini, and just finding it difficult to get it out the box. Well, nothing to trouble the keeper there. It's all in the opponent's half. Pass went outside there. Eswatini our side that are in search of a win if it allows, but if it does not allow, settling for a draw would put them in a better place because they'll have topped their group. Count the number of matches played within the under 20 already. Over 10 games that have played between this stadium and Kelvin Dale. That is, there's another match that side playing today. A ball laid for Paza. Puts in a cross and cleared by that man Pendulo Makakula. Swaziland seems to be opening it wide, trying to get themselves on the run here. And captain himself, that is Nelisiwa Dlamini, who's another Dlamini who just got fouled in the center there. If you were just to mic maybe 3 or 4 players in this field, you would enjoy the conversations, because you have a deep Tswana team, a deep speaking Tswana team, and a deep Swati speaking team. So there will be plenty of confusion, and they will then find it hard to understand each other. They can confuse each other with the languages. Corner for Eswatini, which is their first corner. Now nicely driven in, but there are no numbers. The keeper was beaten to it as well. Well, we just needed the height. Eswatini. It's a young man that is Tubeli Mavuso, whipping it in, a nice in swinger. They just needed somebody to just cushion it and give it a slight touch towards the goal, because the keeper was already bitten by that ball, mischarged it. A header not convincing, coming from that man, Eswatini. Support structure coming from Lindelo Gometu, who just defends solid. Now here's the man who seems to be having the skill and the appetite to take on a fullback, that is Butsile Sikana, and this man Tubeli Mavuso just getting himself in the game here, getting into the zone, just already sizing his opponent and just not afraid to dribble them. Played in, still it finds that man Tubeli. They don't say Tubeli for nothing. If you have Tubeli, it means you are blessed with opportunities. That means the young man has opportunity to showcase his skill and an opportunity to represent his nation, that is Tubeli. And the young man is here to put his kingdom into the map. Now a good body coming from Lindo Lamgome to there. Just denying Tepo Kasilibali. It's a small structure, but strong bones, that is, and it's Lindo Lamgome Tulu. Eswatini launches long, but drives it very low. Now they force it to come up, and a pass coming from this young man, Godfrey Dautswala. Well, keeper just rushing it and not having the ball on the line. Assistant ref says, don't take chances, it's too early. No chance for Eswatini to unleash a cracker there, but not the greatest connection coming from the big man, Nelly Eswatini. Starts from the back. That is Laruna Madisongan Meng. Still with Tubeli here, who then lays it for Lindelom Gometulu, coming closer, trying to get a strike. Maybe it tested the keeper from outside the box. Ball is played in. There's pressure coming in from Botswana, having 2 players, and then Pazade getting a chance to just getting himself a shot, but unable to get through that man. Siso Dlamini, who looks at the ref and says, well, it seems like they were kicking me more than anything else. The facial expression is also a form of expression towards the ref. You can tell with the gesture and just looking at him. Corner again coming from that big man. Botswana with a chance of getting the ball in the box. Nothing to trouble Eswatini yet. Another whipped in cross coming from Butsile. Seems like everybody wants to launch it long and maybe try and find the gap from the long balls. Maybe an early goal will be better if they score from a Route 1 system. The Tifo Molefe. The foul there, just pushing from Tifo Molefe, using his elbow there just to lean over that Mpendula Makakula. And the ref was in well positioned and read it. Ball directed to keeper there. Was a power. An idea, well, it's not a bad idea if you have the strength and the power. Why not? I mean, the coach will be up on his feet also, just to issue instructions that will help the side to not concede a goal. Coach just sharing his skills and instructions, saying you could have went underneath the ball rather. Lisang Siene, who's playing his rather first game of the match, nicely put over the defense, but a big man was there to just deny that cross in. However, Kelvin Gunene is able to just get a strike at goal and able to just get it down, maybe low a little bit. Building from behind. Oh, if you need to watch this game, is www.COSAFA TV, and you can just catch it live there. Social media, that is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, remains COSAFA under 20. The foul has been given to Eswatini there from a clumsy challenge, coming from that young man. Tuvelisha again given the responsibility to eliminate, and captain says I got the ball. Oh, the ref may have saw differently here. That is that's one captain, that is Butsile Sikana, who just went up, just went too hard with that tackle, and he claims to have gotten the ball more than the player. The referee see it differently, young man. Now he took a strike from the center earlier on, so he's gotten closer a few meters now. Can he test Lee Sang with another strike directed goal? Yes, he goes for goal and intend to go for that first pole. Well, he's got the power and the direction. It's only a matter of time that Eswatini gets himself forcing the keeper to pull a save, or he finds one maybe hitting the net. Can a set piece taker launches it forward. Eswatini throw in coming here for Eswatini to get closer into the box, and too much weight on the ball coming from Laruna, or a player who's sitting at the back as a centre back should know better when they clear the ball. A good long throw coming in from Eswatini, but they can't seem to have well, they do not have the actual height that they want on the box, or it becomes a challenge for them to play any of those high balls. Rather keep it down and play shots with those passes. Oh, ball intended to be a crosser, but too much height on it. If you look at the top goal scorers of this tournament, you'd definitely look at which country has already claimed the number one spot. That is South Africa. And the young man seems to have a small and a pain there. Well, the coach having two substitutions, or well, two reserve keepers to warm up, but now he seems to have left his other glove and he's going down just with one glove. Let's wait and see if he has a two. I was about to say he will then have to go back and collect the other one. No, what could be the challenge on this young man with his first few minutes of the game? He wouldn't want to bow out already, because that man hasn't had minutes in the match, and this man has had minutes in the game. So who then is considered here between Cedric Ramuchela and Giovanni Nikolic? It's all about how he feels. Doesn't seem to be a Solon. Maybe he may have knocked it. And maybe when he was jumping there during that first corner South Africa, Eswatini had, sometimes it could be something tactical that the coach would say, keeper, stay down, I need to talk to them. Well, now a ball is played quickly and the players haven't been positioned properly. Don't get why they forever launching the likes of Debucho. So body to body situation seems to be Tawana Mbakile who won that ball. They rather play it safe. Swung in cross, inviting to that far post, but man unable to just head it back into play. Now tackle was it came out clean from Laruna Modisi Ameng, making sure that he's a solid soldier at the back there. One of the coaches that are sitting on the bench for Botswana, that is. The well-traveled coach, should we say, is a coach who's also well-educated in the football space. And if you read his profile, you find that he has a KFB license and a master's degree in sports development and coaching. That is acquired it at in the United Kingdom, the Cardiff University. Then he went ahead to get his degree in physical education in the United States. So coach is an academic that travels, joined the squad in 2019 September when they traveled to Zambia, COSAFA. He's been a part of the local teams in and out of Botswana. He has 5 goals in the national team, retired in 2001 against Malawi when they lost 1-0. Used to play attacking midfield and worked under the likes of Ted Dimitri. Stretch has been called onto the field to come and carry this man. He's somehow feeling a knock on the knee and just refusing to be stretched out, or refusing to get help from his teammate Tebugo. And Tawana Mbakile wouldn't want to end his journey now on this match. He's feeling the pain if you look at the facial expression of Tawana Mbakile, 18 years of age. Well, I think the initial incident where he perhaps injured himself, and it doesn't seem to be anything severe that happened to him. Maybe he felt it when stretching his leg too long. Coach would be worried that one of his instrumental players are already out and getting medical help. Of course, he's swung in and put a good height on it, but seems to be a head collision, and the referee doesn't pick that one up, and he quickly then blows his whistle to give the first aid opportunity to attend to their players who went down, but can't seem to see the Botswana players there. Oh, there was a flick coming on there, and also another one was wanting you to punch it away. That is Kamela Kalekano. Seems to be fine with no medical assistance coming to him, even though they head collision. There's nothing ice won't fix. If you get what I mean. It's December time, and ice will be fixing a lot of things, and including headaches. If you understand it, probably someone will say, fix me a drink and add ice. Oh, here's the flick there coming on, and then there's the headbutt from behind. Well, young stars are a bit stronger than you and I. Lungelo Dlamini is already walking around to get into the halfway park so he can be called into play by the ref. Well, Botswana has 2 players out. It could be to their disadvantage because now they have to wait for the ref. Oh, now they've allowed Tawana Mbakile to come on. Throw in for Botswana. Well, 20 minutes down already, and haven't seen any threatening attempts, rather than seeing those long-range shots coming from that number 6, Eswatini Dlamini. Bongo swung in to Machahesibili Ndlovu. Keeper launches a volley, but too much power on it, and who's to blame? That is Botsile Sakana. It's a national team that is Eswatini, having one surname dominating the stat list. And coach can't refer them by surname, because if he says, hey Dlamini, all of them will look at him. About 5 players, that is Bongiswa Dlamini, Sibusiso Dlamini, and Lungelo Dlamini. If you understand what Dlamini means, it's a oh, you could hear from that sound there that it just went direct onto the boot. A player says, get up, Mgani, let's carry on playing. Tifo Malifo just slicing his way through this man, Machahesibili Ndlovu. One of the surnames in Eswatini just increasing or just growing. That is Bagandlovu. So you youngsters that travelled with their senior team bus, which is written Sihlango Semnigati. It's similar to you saying Bafana Bafana or Chipolo Polo. Swatini would say Sihlango Semnigati. Yes, that man, he drives it again, but still the height is just not allowing him to get it right. He's been attempting, it's the third time now, Bongi Swatlamini just strikes it. Well, I have an idea, coach. Why don't you play it towards the wall and get a wall pass and hit it hard and low? Because, well, if you lift it up, you know that there are chances it will go out of the frame of goal. So rather get it closer with a wall pass and, of course, the wind. Well, this time around it's to his advantage. Again, Botswana trying to just connect with those touches, but a bit of collusions happening there. Well, players from the same team lacking that communication. Again, Eswatini with number 11, Kolane Tuba, unable to just find his teammate. That is Majaesbi Lindlovu. 25 minutes have elapsed and haven't seen a goal or an attempt to just test the keeper. Passes haven't been that great. The passes have been intercepted most of the time and a switch of play. Won by Eswatini is a centre man there. And offside by Majaesbi Ndlovu. Well, it is a water break. Maybe water break will bring us the goals we need. And the coaches will just talk to their players and say, young man, we need you to rather go forward and try and get a goal. Wind speed has increased to 34 kilometers an hour. And temperature is from 22 to 23 degrees. And it tells you that it's going to pick up. And the heat coming just through the clouds there, sometimes it can be indirectly hot. Give as much as you can instructions with just 2 minutes of the water break, just to give the youngsters a bit of a breather and a bit of a motivation if need be. When you are a Botswana, of course you'd want to motivate them to try and score a goal, and when you are Eswatini, you keep the draw, you try and get a goal to be safe in case Botswana scores a goal. Speaking of goals, already seen 26 goals scored in this tournament on today on match day 5, so number of goals will still be knocking. And we highlighted the biggest victory yesterday, that is South Africa winning against Lesotho with 7 goals to nil, and that is the most goals in a game. That is South Africa now, who have that upper hand. Eswatini having just 1 goal scorer, that is Majaesbi Ndlovu, who scored in the last minute of the game against Angola. Ball launched long, but this man Ngosing Pile Mate picks it up well and drives a good volley to try and find Majaesbi. With the ball, and he takes a strike but denied the shot there by Butsile Sikama, good marking and a good block coming from Butsile. A build up coming from Botswana, getting out of their own half and just keeping the passes short. Ball with Godfrey, unable to get that one on time. But is it Godfrey Tawiant? Okay, it is Tawia Twala. Again with Tawia Twala, rolls it back, and the wind, if you can look at the movement of the ball, you can tell when it's played high and trying to launch it long, it just gets blown back up by the wind, and it takes that sharp curve or curler. Oh, there's a man that's just protesting that he's been pulled down. That is Lindelöf Ngometulu. Goal kick for Botswana. Ball launched long. Well, ideally, it's not going to work for Botswana if they want to launch them long most of the time. The wind is against them, so they'd rather keep them short and pass, getting themselves out of the danger zone with just passing. Because if you play it long, it will be intercepted, just like now. Eswatini have just won the ball in their own half, which puts Botswana under pressure. There's that man, Kerane Tuba, who finds the goal scorer, and Tuba just unable to get that first touch right. Forced to start back. That is Eswatini. Kick, a very dangerous kick coming from the keeper. It could bounce off the opposition's body. There's a man with a skill and a number of stepovers. That is Tubelike. Oh, he was asking for it, but it was not given to him. Now Botswana on a counter, but denied, and denied. The chance of scoring by that big man, Mbendvulo Makakula. Another man down already. Just seems to be struggling to get up. That is Tsepo Kisalibali. I see that all these players are having the same injury, the same knock. Maybe now it's questions asked to the physio and the team conditioner. A coach, what sort of exercises did you give to the players to do? Or was the warm-up full of frog jumps, maybe? Get the players doing a lot of frog jumps just before the game. And every player now is feeling a knock on the knee. And it's a third player complaining about similar pain. Lots of strength as well as there. Oh, it was 1v1. Bendulo able to get that one and try to clear it, but a block from Butsile Sikama denying Bendulo the chance to throw to clear it. Here's Kelane Tuba on the ball. That's a 1v1 and a combination play trying to come out of Eswatini, but Mbendulo unable to keep that ball with him. It's a showing of stars here. The ref was at a good position to pick that one up. Maybe a bit of exhaustion got him going down, and now here's Eswatini losing a ball, and Botswana almost profiting from that error Needed to do better, put a team in danger. This man could have punished, that is Paza Chose. That attempted to play a back pass and seems to slide off the ball, and Paza Chose was able to win it, but the strike or the shot at goal was not strong enough. The ball launched long in search of the big man and competes in the air. That is Godfrey. Tawiatswana still Godfrey trying to drill it in, but denied by this man. The set piece taker, that is Bongi Swatlamini. Corner kick for Botswana, going for the first ball, but there's a man there to clear it off the danger zone. It had all threats in it. Again, his launch is just big and goes long. That is Kamelang. We throw in for Eswatini, flicked in with Vuba, unable to just get a good first touch. And here's a shot coming in, but nothing to trouble Lisang Siene. Coach finds himself up on his feet now, just dishing those instructions. 35 minutes gone by, hasn't seen any threat or any chance taken to try and score a goal. Eswatini will be comfortable with a draw. Or Botswana would want to maybe play for the pride and dignity of their own country, and maybe just cause a stir in the group, and they also register those important 3 points. Now, an attempt to get across on. He seems to hit a young man's ear. There's that uncomfortable sound. That is Tawana Mbakile. Well, corner to goal. Corner can be scored if Botswana do not defend well. There's yet young man Tuveli Klomavoso. It goes long again and he launches at the keeper, but nothing to trouble them because it went in, then out again. I must say the wind plays a huge part as well. Ball cleared by Bongi Swatlamini. Launched along in the center, the indecisivers, and who's going for it? But Godfrey says, I'll wait for it on the ground and combine, try break it. Eswatini defense cross swung in, and it's an inviting cross. Botswana still at an advantage here, combining with that big man who could have took a strike at goal. Ball is still with Botswana on the far side of the pitch. Finds Paza Chose. He's trying to put in a cross, but cleared by Lindela Mgometulu. Quickly getting out of the 18. Quickly getting it out of the box. There's another man who's been part of pretty much all the structures of Eswatini. Has been with the under 15, under 17s, and assisted in the first team as well. Well, he's now situated with under 20s. He's traveled with them a number of times, just being a part of mega tournaments. The body behind the ball in the corner has been converted there. This man was also part of assisting Costa and Papic. And he has a squad that also traveled to Mauritius during the COSAFA. Oh, this is the under 17, and for them to put this squad together, they rather bring on the under 17s to help out, because age-wise they still qualify. Now across brought in, the keeper puts a punch on it, and then a threat to goal written all over it. Again, it's brought back into the box. They do have the heads. Now bicycle kick, come on in, and the keeper just doubting to go for that one. Well, it's a good attempt to tease the keeper. Tease Nkosing Pile Mate. This young man just twisting and turning his body. That is Godfrey Tautswala. Oh,
welcome to the world.
Of course, could have done better there, but unable to. Well, here's a shot coming from this man. That is Tubeli Khemavuso. I can tell you it was a bit of a interesting attempt. Now here's the 1-on-1 situation. Can he get himself a squash? And yes! Botswana gets themselves the goal they need. I can tell you, if you're sleeping, they'll catch you napping. Now Tifo Molefe was the main man to take on the 1-on-1 situation. The keeper opening his arms and saying, what did I do? But this man created this pass. And Tifo putting pressure again. Well, he got himself nicely chipped over the keeper with an outer foot. And look at that. Can tell you there's a twist and a turn, but the keeper was unable to just reach that one. It was way off his line already. And this man Tifo says, let's get ourselves registered in the goals scored in this tournament. And Tifo Malefo, or Tifo Mulefe rather, or things stand is Eswatini without a goal and Botswana 1. Eswatini will be digging deep in their pockets and their thoughts on how can they perhaps get a goal. Now here's a strike coming from Kalani Truba, but nothing to bother Lisang Siene, who hasn't considered a goal today. Botswana will be clearing and clearing every ball coming their way. Substitution is taking place and bringing on this young man. He's taking out Tawana Mbakile, bringing on a confident Sinwele. Now, ball is played into the box. It's going to demand, it's going to tax, it's going to require Eswatini to be more vigilant, to be more hungry. Now, a ball played in, attempted to take a shot, but not the best way. That is the Nelly Dlamini. He should have maybe added a touch on the ball and added another touch and gotten closer to the center backs. Then would have had a better clear of that shot. Oh, we are a minute away from going at halftime. Here's that man, Nelly Dlamini is still in play and still with him, but unable to just decide how he wants to play the ball. Ball cleared off. To really clear. Mavuso trying his own tricks to just force the ball to stay inside the box. Still that man to really trying to find Machahesbili, but Machahesbili was marked by two men. Maybe we need to give allow Machahesbili to just run with the ball most of the time. Rather not run with the ball, rather make those runs off the ball to try and create space for Tubeliche and the likes of Kelane Tuba to take the responsibility of wanting it to score a goal. Now chipped over again, and I'll say he's got quite a technique. He just does it so calmly. So now a cross is played in, head off outside the box, and a bit of pushing, but Botswana saying we are clearing anything or everything that is coming towards us. Oh, young man is back on the floor, still holding his knee. Well, the keeper says I'm injured, so what must I do? Oh, so smart man, this man, but the referee seems to be holding his time, especially now that it's the additional time. He would rather wind the clock, slow down the pace of Eswatini coming at them. Lisang Siena will be a very crucial player in this match, and especially when this is all it does. And going down every now and then, going down every now and then. If you have the lead, why not? Coach says, let me rather usher my troops better. Said reality is that you cannot do much. You'd rather wait. Well, young man is up, and must say he winded the clock quite well. And the referee says a foul throw. And a good pass and a drive in, and it's him jumping off, and I think the landing really got him injured, and he landed with both of his knees, so he might be winding the clock, but the pain is really there. Better luck, tough luck, young man. Now a flag is up already by the ref on the far side of the pitch. Now only a few minutes before the ref blows the whistle, and after the additional time was rather chowed by the young man in the goal post. Nicely put in, and Botswana almost getting their second goal in this match, but a good strong hand coming from Ngosing Pile Mate. There, I think Eswatini are just playing on skating on the thin ice. A cross coming from Godfrey to find Tsepo, but Tsepo was just unable to beat Ngosing Pile. However, good run by Tsepo, going all the way and not giving in was a better option for him. Look at him now, almost getting a team profiting from that run. Now a ball is launched long, hard and low. Eswatini just chasing and chasing. He seems to be not coming alright with the touches if they keep them long. They'd rather keep those touches shorter. There will be a better team going forward. Now a ball bounces from Tubeli Mavuso and cleared away from the danger zone. Ball is a throw in for Eswatini. Nicely swung in. Do they have much ability to compete there? But seems to be far away from him. Well, it is the final whistle of the first half, rather, and it is Eswatini who are really in search of a consolation goal that will help them get that point they need. And this man will be looking into why he considered that goal. Had he not moved away from the line, would have been a better save. It would have saved that a shot coming from Tifo Molefe, who just bullied his way through and pierced through the center backs, and he was able to just get that ball scored in. Let's say that it is a Eswatini nil and Botswana 1. Well, a couple of chances coming from Eswatini, but couldn't convert. And first it started with the corner coming from Tubeli Mavuso, and the keeper is just jumping to his best height and unable to save it properly. Oh, the big man going for a good striker, that is Bongi Swatlamini, but unable to put a decent height on it. I think it was too high. And again, he get a second chance going for the near post. This time around it bounced just once. Well, the bounce was very important for him. There's another third chance of him trying to go at goal. Well, why don't you just play a wall pass and come closer and hit them hard, because he seems to have the connection and the appetite for it. Well, again, Botswana was unable to clear the ball properly here, and this man made a good turn, Neliswa Dlamini, but the strike was just not too powerful to beat that man, Elisang Siene. Well, here's again a bicycle kick coming from Godfrey Taoyatswala, and just unlucky there with his bicycle. Now the Molefe coming on and just piercing through the two center backs with that good move, and a pass from Pasachos was more than enough to give this man, Tifo Molefe, the goal scoring opportunity, and he gave this team the lead they need. Well, I can tell you it is a half-time, and this half-time, this young man, Tifo Mulife, is the one to say, I give my team the lead, and will cause a stir, a drama, and that group of ours having to play 2 games. And another goal-scoring opportunity came from this man, that is Tepo, who just pushed his way and bullied again the defender, that's Lindo Lamgometulu, who was unable to protect that ball. All halftime statistics are saying goal attempts are sitting on 9 for Eswatini and 5 for Botswana, while ball position remains 45 for Eswatini and 55 for Botswana. Well, it is back to basics, back to the system where Botswana will then try to maybe keep this lead and try and get another goal if they can, if time permits, if room allows. Why not? Mbendulo Makakula seems to be not coming back into this match because they have made a switch up in the center there. Now bringing on that lucky number 12 for Eswatini to try and add a bit of pace, maybe add a bit of a character of some sort. And there's Yende Junior who comes on for Bedvulo Makakula. Junior is a very rare name, Eswatini, but who would say moving with the times is a better way. The referee says, let's get it going. And again, Botswana that wants to score a goal. Botswana that is leading a goal, and Eswatini are in search of a goal. I can tell you that it's going to be an interesting conversation at the rep. Obviously, thinking that one of the coaches going to say what went wrong and whatever is gone right, or a bit of a miss of a step there from the young man. Hopefully nothing is injured. Tebo Kisalibali, that is. God, this game should have been commentated by presenter there, Ms. Parker, because she'll be familiar with these city names. It's one of names like that. So, bit of a struggle with my tongue twister, and I would be doing okay with the Swatis because that's where I come from. She's scared of the big mic. He loves the mic on the field. And Eswatini have already made one substitution, bringing number 17, Yende Junior, and took out Mbendulo Makakula. Eswatini defending now, just trying to get the changes on. Well, that 10 did not give. It's a young man. And wind speed has picked up as well, so you would see the ball just serving away from where it's intended to go. Good mark coming from Abong South. I mean, denying good free Italia Toala. He's a young man with the pace, he's a young man with the strength and a drive. Well, it needed to be a corner. I don't think the refs read that or saw that. Well, it finds this man, that is Kolane Ituba, is unable to play. Well, the situation will be of interest in this group because they're playing 2 games only. And if you look at the group now, we are saying as things stand, Botswana are sitting on 3 points, and it puts them at a small advantage. Maybe they have a foot in, and Angola might be disadvantaged as well because issues a goal difference. However, that comes after a head-to-head rule has been implemented. Eswatini will still go on, and Angola would then come and be number 3. So Botswana will then sit on the best losers position, that is number 2, or best winners, because you can't say they're losers. And Eswatini and Botswana will then advance. An interesting group for this one. And say that another interesting group is that Namibia and Malawi are left with 1 game each. In their groups they have to play 3 games, and that is Group B. yesterday there was a twist in everything, and you see Namibia having 3 points, Malawi having 3 points, and Zambia the only team that has secured the top spot with 6 points. So between Namibia and Malawi, one has to win their next game. Kukam and collected volunteers of this beautiful under-20 championship, sitting on the stands, just monitoring that far side of the grandstand, and just also bringing the balls back into play when the players have ballooned them over the fence. And, also just making sure that there aren't any people who still observe the COVID-19 rules and regulation for the success of this tournament. Ball by Botswana, keeping it at the back there. There is a Botle Pants. There's a situation there, keeper popping out just to usher the ball to the billboards rather than a singing opposition player winning it with his run.
Welcome attack.
And a man who's considered a goal already. That is Gosing Pile Mate. Earlier on in the first half, and a goal coming from Tifo Molive. Now here's another striker that just lacked power and direction. Ball won by Botswana, trying to find the big man, Godfrey Tauyatwala. Is unable to just get that one on time. And also being caught on offside. But a ball launched long to try and find the big man, but denied the run there by the two centre backs, just being solid. Competition of high balls. In the center of the park. Having a bit of a conversation with my colleague Rato Paro here. Just highlighting a few pointers, maybe an error coming from my side. Oh, looking at the head-to-head rule, it is clear that Angola will continue to proceed through, and Botswana won't advance if that rule stands, and Botswana will still be relegated, rather will still be out of a contestation, because Angola beat Botswana and Eswatini beat Angola. Those beautiful brains, Paco! Thank you, my sister. Oh, we share knowledge sometimes and highlight a few things where we see that we can help one another. This young man, coach, is looking for help by all means to try and just play for the pride and dignity of their country. So number of goals will come to factor for Botswana if they really wanted to go through. There's more than 3 goals, but looking at the way they play right now, there's a bit of a challenge for them, and the clock is also ticking, but a shot is taken in, and this young man Paza was then called offside. Rather, the ball was out, and he could have been a difference in getting that second goal. Still Botswana with that counter attack, trying to get the best or the better of Eswatini. Here's a bit of a language challenge. That is a player saying easy, and that is no longer allowed. I don't think the referees are picking it up. It is deemed as a foul when you say easy, or you'd rather call your name and my ball. When you're calling the ball, still remains only the keeper to use that language. And not even an easy will be allowed from a keeper because he needs to call out his name. Eswatini in the center, just launching high, everything they have launching high, and now at the wrong time and at the wrong wind speed for them to be launching the ball high. Now Majaya Sbilin Ndlovu hasn't seen much of the ball, hasn't seen much of the test or testing the keeper, playing it safe. So that young man just taking it out is Musiso Dlamini. Forever with a serious expression, just on the hunt. Ball is swung in by Camelo. Now shot is taking in a push coming from Godfrey Tawiatsola, but not too much pressure there. Oh, got it out by Gosing Pile Mate. Well, a coach will be impressed with his squad, the Masters degree holder. Oh, look at it. How the players are just punching the ball out of danger zone and not getting that enough power or direction is somehow affecting them, because every second time they punch the ball, it must be a second ball punched again. Eswatini would know that Velekaya Mwake Mteto. In Eswatini there's Mteto more than Teta. He's a goal scorer trying to find his partner in crime, Godfrey. But Tifomulife was denied that cross. Launched long towards the keeper and try to find a match. Eswatini Ndlovu. Substitution is loading for Eswatini. Another fresh set of legs to get onto the park. It is. I'll tell you, coaches making subs early, trying to bring fresh legs that could perhaps trouble the Botswana side. Header and a push coming from Mpaza. Oh, good call by the ref. That you've been pushing Lungelo Dlamini, the number 10, who's been skillful enough in the first half. He's now brought out to bring on this young man that is Innocent Nzinisa. So interesting substitution. You should have reshuffled them and maybe taken Kelvin Gunen out, but we see it differently. You don't need to defend, you need to attack. And we're putting an extra set of fresh legs to try and get the better of Botswana, but poor pass coming from that man. That is the end junior. Ball in the center of the park for Botswana, who trying to combine, but it seems to be too far from each other. Keeper just playing a volley, trying to find Kolani Tuba. Tuba now holding his teammate, but can't seem to be on his feet. That is innocent. Zeniza. Swung in to find Godfrey, and Godfrey cautions it right, but unable to give it the right direction. Oh my goodness, Godfrey could have gotten the team 2 goals up. Was comfortably so waiting for it to come to him, and just not getting it at its best height, which then reduced the speed of his header. Here's a clearance that might result into a corner rather than a goal from this man. Oh, putting too much pressure, Godfrey Tauyatwal. He got that header, man. Could have ground punched it more than anything. And a kind of header would have been a bit of a trouble for the likes of Gosing Pile Mate. Gonna kick it for Botswana. Wesley swung in into the first ball, and they've got the numbers, but Paza Chose was unable to get himself registered in the goal scoring board, and is unable to tap that on into the net. Oh, an inviting ball. Keeper not sure if he should go for it, but he just followed it through from the first pole to the last pole, and Paza was unable to get it right or get that connection he was looking for. No, ball swung in to try and find the defenders. It is cleared by Kelvin Gunene. But really going for goal there. Keeper says not yet, Eswatini. Coach is animated here. Coach is shouting at this young man. Coach is shouting and not impressed at all with his a keeper, that is, and saying, I told you I do not want that style. Well, I don't blame the coach. If you don't have the technique on how to do the volley, then rather make use of the drop kick. Okay, the coach is a very vocal coach, just wanting to keep the lead, maybe try and get another goal would make him a happy man. Ball to that man, Kolane. Kolane finds a match, and gets a strike, and it bounces off Laruna Mudisiameng. And the keeper says, take it easy, is there. Good pass coming from the keeper, but no one to be found. Well, it's a house to let the situation. Launches along to find the newly fresh legs. That is it. Innocent in Zeniza. While it's swung in, and it seems like it was going in. Oh, was an attempt there, but keeper had it ushered out. I'll say Eswatini coming with different fires now. The fresh legs, that is Yenda Jr., who came on just when the second half started. Lack of communication. There are two people going for the same ball and two people from the same team. Botswana trying to play it wider, but Eswatini intercepts and launches it to Innocent Nziniza. Headed away, but not really cleared away. Still the ball in the air. Innocent Nziniza finds Yende Jr. Nziniza with a pass not as great as the build-up. Let's see, a throw-in for Botswana. The ball not properly cleared. I mean, I can tell you that was a skill and a half coming from Yende Jr. This team of Eswatini seems to be having some creme de la creme in their feet. It's just a bit of a skill. Nicely swung in, intercepted there by the big man himself. Eswatini has just been bold enough to be the soldier at the back to try and help his team and not concede another goal. Or the drive coming to this man Innocent Nziniza, but not making good use of an innocent pass from Yende Jr. Here comes Baza, chose it with the ball and forced it to go back and ushered out, guided out again, or forced it to make a throw in. Here's a passer of note. Switching play. Finds that man on the far side of the pitch, that is Machai Speed in Tlovo, to Kolane Pruba. Putting pressure on Mr. Pruba, but unable to just win himself that ball. Now here's a cross coming in, and a bit of a flag is up. Innocent Nziniza seems to be a nerve. Seems to be one poacher, one troublesome kid. And there's a young man down. Just hoping that his hamstring is fine. There's a Velegaya Mteto will be really worried or upset that his players are sitting on the ground. Header back into the half by Lindela Mgometulu. Decisiveness, waiting for the ref to blow the whistle, and the assistant ref can only see that the ball is not out. It carries on to be a play on. But the greatest decision made by the two sides is just ball watching. Wait, play to the whistle. That's what coaches would say. Ball swung to the far end, but Lindelo Mgometulu is tall enough to just head it away. Ball put in here. Nothing to travel. Gosen Pile Mate. The greatest kick from the good kicker among Eswatini, now putting the team under an attack, but good recovery, good comeback, having the numbers there at the back. Botswana just trying to spend their time, and the guest half just to spend their time in the opposition's box if it permits. It's all about long balls now, just launching them long trying to find each other there up front. No, tackle there, which is awarded to Nelly Swatlamini. Well, he's not much on a danger zone, but because he had his body in front, this young man says, let me rather take you out. And confidence is in it. There's the culprit there, and incidents just happened in the box while we're discussing the foul. It's just an attempt to score a goal.
Give them one. Give them. Give them. Give them. Give them one. Give them. Give them.
Ball launched too long. Oh, here's a 10 coming from Innocent and Ziniza. He's just tried to be more of a poacher up front there. Olane Tuba was just unable to keep that on with himself. Oh, Shibobu just came from that one, but then you lose the ball and you foul a player, still advantage, so the ref will say, Macha spin, go ahead and try and get yourself a goal. Oh, water break is what the ref says it's time for, so go closer and listen to your coaches and hear what instructions are they giving to the boys and how best they can come back. Well, the wind speed remains at 35 and temperature just picking by 1 degree and now moving to 24 degrees from 23. As the two sides are just not affected by the heat. Rather, the wind is a bit of a challenge for them. Well, it's a breezy wind in Port Elizabeth. Well, I hope that next match coming up at Wolfson Stadium, there's a big game coming. However, let's just see how Botswana could have stolen this game. And they sure did with Defomulife poaching himself and not confusing himself. And there was a lack of pressure coming from this man, Bongiso Dlamini, after his partner, Sbusiso Dlamini, was unable to clear that ball away of danger. And Defomulife just said, let me rather not run with it, let me rather chip it over the keeper. Well, game on already, back to live game, and don't forget to catch us live, and you know what to do, you know what to say if you need to say it. We are at a stadium where it's just too cool, a capacity stadium that could take at least 10,000 people, but due to the pandemic we are not able to host anyone. That is the Wolfson Stadium. Cross the corner played in, and not enough players from Eswatini to compete for that high ball there. Again, it's going to be launched back by Dlamini. Well, you have to say which Dlamini here, but here's a chance for Eswatini to get themselves into the scoreboard, and look at, there's a hand up for a handball, but the ref did not see that one, and the assistant ref also just jogged his way out of that incident and saying there was no handball. And again he says there is no pushing coming from Bongiso Dlamini. If you just well, substitution by Botswana is of importance now, taking out Tsepo Kisalibale and bringing on number 12 to see if he's got the legs, he's got the run, he's got the pace. Can he consolidate? Can he do better? That is Dr. David young star with a 19-year-old. Oh, that is a doctor replacing Tsepo Kisalibali. Here's a chance for Eswatini, but Machayasvili just unable to get it right at first. He should have put it on his chest. Oh. There's a man down there. And if you just wondering how this game turns out and how man of the match sometimes comes out, you would then get to land that. However, Eswatini on a front foot there in a counter-attack, trying to get themselves in the scoreboard. Here's the panel that rather selects the man of the match. We'll watch the game and then deliberate as a unity. Now a strike is taken, but good block and a body behind it. Now there's pace coming on and putting pressure on Eswatini, but combination play got them out of the situation and not reading that one. And the likes of Yende Jr. just running away from the ball and saved by an out ball. That is Botswana, and the players down already to a very animated coach, a very vocal coach, a very enthusiastic coach, just forever shouting at his players. Well, it's not a shout to let them down. Now cross is put in here, and this man comes out and Lisang Sien to take that on. Step over coming from that goal scorer, and he whips it in across, but cleared away before Baza Choza could make that contact. And young man, that is Lungelo Dlamini, will be proud of himself after putting so much work to just not allow the likes of Baza to score another goal. Expressive man, just monitoring and monitoring. Just monitoring. Throwing for Eswatini. Nicely launched along, but not having the numbers, sufficient numbers in the box to compete for that one. But Botswana have it. Now here's a clumsy jump, which is just going to get him in the books of the ref. I mean, what intentions did he have of playing the ball there? Oh, zero intentions of playing the ball, but going for the man. And his teammate says, Buntle Pansiri. Utleti. Well, look at his jump, just going for him. And then getting, of course, the ball. Well, he's missed quite a number of set pieces. But this time around, they are strategizing, they're talking about it. Could they perhaps see something from the change room, rather from the training grounds? The coach says, "Fagi ball in it, go for a strike again. Balloons it too high. This time around, just say he's just not sure if he's ready to do that. Well, it seems like It's been scoring at the rugby poles the whole day today. Getting those tries right. Ball launched along. Upaza on the ball. It's 1v1 going on the corner and putting it in eventually. But the two men that are up front unable to just get that one. That is Godfrey and Tifo. Eswatini will be looking into maybe fighting until the last minute. Hopefully they get themselves that draw they perhaps want, and it'll put them in a better position to advance. As far as this match is concerned, there's a twist in it, and a very interesting twist, I must say. Header not successful, and it finds a big man. Then it goes wide to Tifo Mulife. Mulife gives it to Latisi and puts in a crosser to trouble the keeper then. Nicely punched away by the keeper. Again, they try to find Dr. David, who came on as a sub. It just seems to be also adding some speed up front. And Butsile Sakana was unable to give a quality cross. Ball played it to the first pole, but nothing to trouble the keeper there for Eswatini. Eswatini are just on the hunt of that a goal that will help them advance. High challenge because most of the balls are played in the air. Now it's 82 minutes gone. This man has been getting a lot of set pieces, and this time around it doesn't go for goal, but it chips it over the line and just not having the height for Eswatini to compete for those high balls. Rather play them short most of the time and just get to pass into spaces and move as a team and show up with those runs. And the likes of Innocent Ziniza would be able to pull the two center backs at the back, that is Laruna and Tebuko, away from defending too deep and just force them go wide rather. And Godfrey Tauya Tsuala just not getting to that ball in time. Here's a chance for Dolane Etuba. Eswatini is still in search of that equalizer. Dolane Etuba was unable to get to that ball in time. It is the big man Dr. David up against Eswatini Dlamini. And it claims it to be a corner, but assistant referee says rather not. It's a goal kick. Quickly played at the back by Eswatini to patiently then launch it up by Eswatini Dlamini. Well, here's a passer to Innocent Martinez and a striker, but awkward Engel will just give credit to the effort. It is put in. There's the chance coming from Machai Speedy, just opening up for Innocent Zeniza, who then made that turn, and yes, he did bend his body, but the angle was just too tight for him. Now a ball flicked over for Godfrey, and it's a 1v1 denied room there. The big man who's been a solid Kelvin Gunene. Ball with Godfrey Tawiatwala. Across the put in to find that man. Oh, giving him a free header again, David Doctor. Non-stop by Eswatini over the defense. Still Eswatini with the ball there. But Golane Etvuba, it makes a good turn. But do they have the numbers? Here's Machahasbili. It's a 1v1, but the referee says it's offside, young man. Rather give the ball away.
No. He must stand up now. He must stand up now. He must stand up now.
What's the problem?
He must stand up now.
Oh, the assistant referee says he must stand up now, and he insists on the injury, and he says there's nothing he can do, and he claims to just is saying that I need medical assistance. And some of the guests and COSAFA delegates who are just here coming from Botswana, slowing down the pace and the tempo of Eswatini. The likes of Innocent Zeniza is just coming all right, trying to combine with Olane Truba up front there. It's just trying to get that goal, and maybe Matthias Bini, if he carries on at that, holding on to that ball, his teammates are coming closer to him. The likes of Nelly Swatlamini, there's the bus driver for Eswatini national team, wearing a South African tracksuit.
Don't leave them. Yes. That was the last one. Wait. Keeper.
The coach who was somewhat worried about how his players I tell you that when you know how to buy time, you know how to buy time, and you do it good. You had a bit of an injury, now you're able to take a goal kick. Machai Speed trying to lay it for Ball played longer by Botswana and just unable to find a doctor as he finally comes out and gives Godfrey, who goes for a fancy shot more than him, picking a spot properly. He missed that opportunity. He went for fancy. He went for a fancy goal, and look at him now, holding his head and just in disbelief that I could have done a better. A simple ball that needed a simple tap in. The coach says, tap it in. Why must he go fancy? Oh my goodness, the coach will be disappointed at this. Sometimes you keep it to basics. Well, 5 minutes will be the time added on in this game. However, the very same man who almost gave the second goal for this match. Eswatini just trying to push forward and add numbers and find that man Innocent, who's guided by two players and just unable to. Here's another chance for Eswatini to attack and maybe get a goal. The likes of Yenda Jr. Still trying to play simple and basic. Let's say that Botswana will be excited a little bit. A throw in favor of Eswatini, but the referee says it's still Botswana's ball. Ball rolled in to Machahasbili, who then finds Yenda Jr. Floated behind. Here's a chance for Eswatini to get himself a draw, but denied again. Kolane Tuba, who had a clear chance. Now here's a Rainman who could have gave Botswana another goal, that is Godfrey Tawia. Well, there's a man who found himself in the books of a good performance throughout the first half, and the second half was just unable to bury his chances early. And you know, there's still a goal up with a few minutes remaining from the time added by the ref. Of course, 90 minutes has gone by. And he'll be more than excited that he scores himself an accolade, an award, rather an appreciation for his performance and contribution in this game. As a man of the match of the day, rather. Eswatini is just in search of that one goal that could maybe happen if they do the right things, what the coach says. Nicely he swung into the last pole and flicked away from a danger zone. Here comes that's a young man, Lindelom Gometulu. The handball has been given to Botswana, coming from that man, Lindelom Gometulu. It's all about launching them long, getting the balls out of your half, getting the balls out of a danger zone. Here's a chance for this number 10, but a flag has been up already. A flag was raised a long time ago because he was way ahead of the defenders. Now kicks are not coming alright for Eswatini now because everything is rushed. Now Olane Tuba makes a turn and now again Eswatini whips it over the defense trying to find this man Machahasvili. No, keeper unable to get it on the other side to the defenders. No, he gets a second chance to launch this one. Again, it's just unsuccessful with getting it over his own half. And the wind not doing much justice for them. Now here's a one last chance for Eswatini. Oh, the flag is up already with that man. With again delaying tactics. Oh, here's an offside call that was there made to this man Godfrey Tauyatwala. Seems like there wasn't an offside, but the ref blows it and says it is all over. And clear enough, he there would be an excited Botswana, and Eswatini would then also say we put in a good fight, and Botswana would just be excited as well because they did fairly well. I mean, a coach's mandate was clear: go get yourself a win, and it's nothing but a victory for this side, Botswana. Well, as things stand, at that interesting group, Eswatini 0 and Botswana 1. There's a number of chances that we're talking about. But a shot was taken only on by that man who went out eventually. That is Teppo. It's in step more than him using his laces. And Captain just floating the ball in to try and find the big man. Number 12, that is David. No, rather, that is Godfrey Tauyatwala. He was unable to just punch it correctly and give it the right direction. And Eswatini again got a chance by Machaha. Machaha is leading Kovu, but his power was not enough to trouble the keeper, rather. Again, Eswatini brought that man innocent. And Ziniza, who just made a turn, but the angle was quite awkward for him to make that good strike, and a pass coming from Machahasvili. Machahasvili maybe had he tucked it back in and rolled it for his teammate. Or they've tried all in the book. They've wanted to take those shots, the likes of Machahasvili, but denied the room or the space to make those shots. Here's another man that is given a good ball and could have been on a brace. Godfrey Tauyatwala, but he went for offensive scoring instead of him passing into the net, which resulted into him just not converting that one. Well, full-time statistics, chances or attempts by Swaziland were 15. Shots on target sit on 6. If I can tell you that only one card was issued, while ball position is even Stevens.
A victory for Botswana, but it is not enough to propel them to the next level of the competition as they have been eliminated. But nevertheless, this is their only victory in the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship. I am now with the man of the match, and it goes to Godfrey Tauyatwala. Godfrey, congratulations on the man of the match accolade. How do you feel about the team's performance today?
The performance was good, and we had a lot of chances. We missed a lot of chances. Like the coach said, we cannot go back home without a win. So we won the game. So I'm sure the coach is happy, even though we couldn't progress to the next stage.
You talk about the chances that you had, especially you after the 90th minute, so many chances, some of them where you could have converted, maybe the team could be slightly in a different position.
Yeah, that's right. There were a lot of chances. I couldn't convert them. So yeah, it's part of the game. You miss chances, you get punished. So today we walk away 3 points. We are
You'll go
happy.
with 3 points. You're
Yeah.
happy. Thank you so much,
Thank
Godfrey.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Godfrey, the player of the match. I will now be joined by the coach of Eswatini. Coach, we did talk about the team just needing a mere draw to at least propel them through. But let's talk about what you thought about the 90 minutes.
A tough game. I think my boys were in that state when mentally they thought it was going to be easy. But then when we made that mistake and we got punished, it was a tough battle coming back.
You speak about that, the tough battle of coming back, coach, but also there were smart transitions from your team, just unable to find that final coffin, that final nail rather.
Yeah, we tried to create chances, especially in the second half where we played better. We could have scored a goal or two, but then when it's not your day, it's not your day.
And now it's all about the waiting game, to wait for other group results to see where that puts Eswatini in terms of the best runners-up for the COSAFA Under-20 Championship.
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially when we had our destiny in our own hands, but we couldn't take that chance. Now it's the waiting game.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I will now be joined by the coach of Botswana, Coach Kitimes. Coach, appreciate your time. Godfrey speaks about the importance of a victory, but how did you feel seeing chance after chance after chance being missed?
You know, yeah, it's, what can you say, man, but it's part of the game. You know, you say these guys are still young, but we still have to still, you know, encourage them, teach them to be composed. You know, that chance he had there, he's supposed to control and push into the side of the net, but it happens in football.
It does happen, and that's something that we spoke about pre-match, just in terms of the goal difference, because it does boil down to the goal difference. And right now, it is so much against you as the team has been eliminated. But on a development front, Coach, what did you make of the boys and how they were able to assert themselves?
Yeah, at least today we came to the party and we played according to the instruction. We could defend very well. Against Angola, we really played against ourselves. We let in easy goal at the wrong time, you know, during the crucial phase of the game. But at least today the boys, they stood up, they come up, they fight. At least we should lose with the fight and have dignity. We should fight for our flag, and I'm happy with them. I'm happy with the performance and the fighting spirit. But during Angola, it was not there.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
The coach speaks about the fighting spirit that he saw from his side. Botswana being able to record their only victory in the COSAFA Under-20 Championship for 2020. Eswatini going down. This does mean that Angola go through as a Group C winners, and the games that will be kicking off simultaneously, it is Amajita and the Young Mambas here at the Wolfson Stadium, and over at Galvandale it will be Zimbabwe and Lesotho. Well, that sums up what has transpired as far as Group C is concerned, but there's still that big position, or rather possibility, for Eswatini in terms of making it through based on the best runners-up position. As far as who tops the group, it is Angola, as they do have a better goal difference. So Group C winners, we already know Angola, but now it's all about Group A, as we will be focusing our attention on that. So please do stay tuned, as we will be coming up and building up to that one.